that's great. So just give me a quick story about one interesting project that you may have done within your memory span. I know you have a good memory, even though it's kind of short, so try to come up with something that would intrigue the crowd.
Well, I think what springs to mind is I was approached by a lighting company 4 or 5 years ago that also did a lot of television work. A very nice gentleman. The company is called Live Lights, and his problem was that what he wanted was what we sometimes see in the street, especially as we live around Hollywood, is this enormous truck with banks of equipment in it, racks, maybe 4 or 6 seats for the personnel, cables pouring out of it down the street into mains and things like that. And he said, I want to put all that into a flight case. And he showed me what had to go in there, and I was initially rather negative about it, but he said, please have a try. And we did, and we ended up with an absolutely beautiful product which has in it everything that one of those big trucks that you see in the street when they're making movies has. And it opens up, I think it's about 14 feet long when it's open, with banks of racks on both sides, and television monitors and screens and stuff like that. That took over a year to make. Not that if we were to do it again, we could probably do it in a month. But we had to keep waiting for the customer to come back and approve or change stuff. There was a lot of custom stuff in it, massive metal chassis had to be designed and welded, which I would design myself. But that's a very odd project. They don't come along very often. And every now and again you get a request for something which initially you think, how the hell are you going to do that? For instance, I was making a case for a piece of machinery that calibrated the rifling on tank barrels for the army. And
sounds rather important.
Yeah, it's and I believe, just from memory, because I haven't done it for years, but I think it was like an 18-foot long case, something like that. But there again, we developed, and you have, and everybody in the industry these days, we have splicing extrusions. So a large size isn't necessarily prohibitive.
Yes, you're right about that. The splicing, the different extrusions available to just continue to add on to a case without having to have the tooling that a plastic type of case would have, gives us that added advantage that we are not really limited to size, other than getting it out the door.
Absolutely. There are, as you well know, there are a lot of projects. It's very important that you point out to a customer what he wants you to build, because when he gets somewhere, he's got to get it inside. And a lot of times they just don't think of that. So you have to come up with alternatives, make it in 2 parts or 3 parts, or when they play in the big venues, of course, there are barn doors you can drive a truck through. But there are facilities which, clubbers and stuff with 30-inch door. You have to bear that in mind when you're designing a case, as you well know.
Sure. And
the importance of truck packs too. The trucking is an enormously expensive part of our business these days for rock groups on the road and tours. And production managers have become very experienced. And before a tour leaves, every case has to be measured before it's built. And the production manager and the tour manager will have a specific place for it in the truck. So there's almost not an inch of empty space in there. That's a key feature too.
Yeah, it's not like the 80s or thereabouts to see how many trucks you can get on the road. It's how many trucks can you keep off the road.
Well, absolutely. As you know, some of these tours have really up to 40 trucks. It's when they're doing double dates, Rolling Stones, things like that, the big ones, But it's expensive, so you must be aware of the sizes of the case you're designing for the customer.
Great. And weight is also a consideration, not so much on a big tour like that, but when you go overseas, it becomes a factor.
It does, but I've never considered it, and I decided when I started this company that I would not make anything lighter than a 3/8 thickness product. and of course continually asked for quarter-inch product, and I used to say I wouldn't make it, and I never did. I don't think I ever upset anybody, but it's just my policy. It's Ascot superior fly cases, so weight wasn't an issue with me. It had to be what it had to be.
That's what your shirt says, right?